Well, good morning. And it seems that some of Dan Andrews' past has come back to haunt him. Not surprising, really. 10 years ago, there was an accident in Blairgowrie where he claims that a bike hit his car and that 15-year-old cyclist was injured very badly. Apparently his wife was driving the car at the time, Catherine Kessick, which is interesting that that surname was used, being her maiden name and being the daughter of a lawyer in Mornington, the firm Hicks and Kessick. How do I know? Because when I was a graduate accountant, I worked in Mornington and saw that firm there on Main Street. But it isn't interesting. This is not the only controversy that he's had. I remember that happened in Parliament where the Liberal Party hardly questioned Dan Andrews over that, and fair enough. You don't want to be putting some person through a terrible accident that happened, especially when supposedly not his fault, just a pure accident. But there's been many accidents with Dan Andrews. In fact, in his first term of government, there was a minister who used the government car to pick up his dogs. He had his deputy speaker and speaker have to resign from their positions because of rorts that they supposedly did as well. Of course, we've got the red shirts, the $388,000 red shirt that the Ombudsman said, yes, you guys are liable, and they paid it back. The Labor Party paid the $388,000 back. Of course, there's the deaths in hotel quarantine. The 801 deaths that the Ombudsman said is a direct result of decisions that Dan and his donkeys made. You know, Dan's very good at picking on people when they supposedly have done something wrong. I know he certainly did that with myself in Parliament. When the police prosecution dropped everything, he was like a dog at a bone. He just kept going and going. He didn't care. But when it's him, he just drops everything. Nothing to see here. He is innocent. Well, folks, no, he's not. He's responsible for more deaths in Victoria than any other leader in the whole of Australia, and not just during these lockdowns. He had his police shoot at us. He has his police investigate to the nth degree people who are innocent. Yet himself, in this whole car crash incident that happened 10 years ago, a breathalyzer wasn't taken from the supposed driver, which was said to be his wife. No breathalyzer at an accident. How is that possible? That's just not possible. And he wasn't even well known at that particular time. The police failed to do their job. Or did they? Were they warned otherwise? Did Dan Andrews even have the power back then as a socialist left leader to command the police force? Well, he certainly allowed them to shoot people in Victoria, so I wouldn't put it past him to be able to have that power over the police. And the first respondents being the fire brigade. What happened there? I don't know. But it's no surprise that just down in Frankston, the MP, now the Labor MP, is an ex-fireman who got placed in the Frankston job. There's too much around this guy. Too much in the open to vote this guy back in. There's too much that isn't open, that's behind a cloak of darkness and silence. There's enough that we see, Victorians, that this guy cannot be voted back in on the 26th of November. Victorians, vote this guy out. He's vicious. He's a liar. He's a disaster.